Hey, welcome back to another episode of Backlog After Dark. So this week we get to start continuing our journey into the history of all three of your wonderful hosts. And so we're going to let Gavin spill the beans on how he became the Gavlon that he is today. Spoiler alert, we probably won't get to him becoming Gavlon just yet tonight.
Gavlon wheel, Gavlon deal, baby.
But Gavin, the floor is yours, man. You can take it away and let us know how you became the gamer you are, I think is what I said with Ryan. So.
Yeah. Yeah, the man, the myth, legend.
The neckbeard Reddit mod that you are.
As we know you and love you to be.
Man. You manage our Discord server so well.
Don't even act like I'm the one managing the Discord server.
I don't think anyone manages it. We just put shit in there. I guess I put the most in there.
It's got to be you, Matt. If
Up.
there's a manager
You're
of
absolutely,
Discord, you are the manager.
Absolutely the sysadmin
I know
of
Gavin's
this
got my
podcast.
back on this one.
Well, fine.
Okay. Well, I think this episode's going to, or at least this series, one, maybe two episodes, be a little different than Ryan's. I don't really have the same breadth that my esteemed co-hosts do. I'm kind of one of those serial gamers that will just play one thing over and over and over for even years at a time. So, but I guess let's just get started out with early gaming memories. So the first game I remember ever playing was Mario 64 on the N64, and it's no coincidence that it's in my all-time greats for the nostalgia and just the experience of it, and like just the fact that like my family had a Nintendo, and like I would like it wasn't ours, it was like some cousins or uncles. And my dad and I would go over there and we would play, and oftentimes he would be the one playing when I was really, really little, and I would just watch, and then eventually like I started playing as well. Those were like really cool formative memories. So
was Daddy a gamer in general growing up?
He wasn't like growing up.
Or?
Well, like, yeah, he still kind of does. He's more like, these days he's more like he'll play during the winter months because he's like going crazy because he wants to be outside. But, you know, he's from that era where video games were kind of more taboo, you know? So it wasn't like he really grew up with, like, an identity of being a video gamer. I think he probably got exposed to it more in, like, maybe late high school or college. And you know, he wasn't, like, the guy who owned everything.
I guess for our listeners, we've touched on it a few times, but to date ourselves to some degree, we're all still technically in our early 30s. I'm the oldest, creeping into mid 30s. So
that's really hanging on to that early 30s.
I'm gripping for dear life. So
it's coming for you.
That kind of ages us and gives a perspective of like right when your parents would have been coming up, I guess, for that. But.
Well, yeah, they had me young too. So, but yeah, so I remember playing that a lot. And then eventually we did get our own N64, and it was tons and tons of Mario 64, and then Pokemon Stadium later on.
Ooh,
which is funny because I don't even like, I feel like I just played the same like thing over and over. Like I feel like it was just like not a roguelike kind of thing, but it was like you started from scratch and you just kind of like you just did a series of battles, and you either like got to the end and won or didn't. Like I don't really remember it being a campaign.
Part, right?
I'm kind of hazy on it, to be honest.
You like slowly unlocked, I think, other Pokemon, maybe just a couple though. It wasn't like there was 151 roster for Stadium or anything like that. But yeah, and then you just kind of set up your team. I think you could do like 3v3 or it was always 1v1 on the field, but right, you had like 3 Pokemon that you had to like fight through. I think you could maybe do 5. At least in Stadium 1. I don't know. Oddly enough, I was kind of into Pokemon, like the cards and the show. And then I played some of the games, but Stadium's probably the one I've played the most. What about that? Yeah, were you into Pokemon in general, or is that just like a game you ended up with your 64? I
was really into the cartoon series. I had a few cards. I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh card person later on. But I notably, I almost never really got into like the handheld series. I know those are like beloved,
the creme de la creme.
Yeah,
definitely.
But I remember, I'm trying to remember now how difficult like Pokemon Stadium was, because it must have not been that hard, because I feel like when I was playing it was like really, really young, and I didn't I didn't even know all the Pokemon, and I didn't know like necessarily like what the elemental weaknesses were for some of them, but I still remember being able to get through it. I don't know if it had like difficulty settings or what, or if it was just easy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't either. I remember kind of you figured out the weakness attacks, and that's just kind of what you did to the other ones. And I think by default, you kind of figured out the elementals maybe at some point. But
I'm so hazy. I don't even remember like there being a story mode. I just remember playing. I guess I played against my like you could play 1v1 against your somebody else, right? 2-player, yeah. But no, that makes sense.
I mean,
I remember not knowing shit as well, like same way you're saying. Like I didn't know any of the types or anything.
You're the closest to the Pokemon guy. You are the Pokemon guy out of the three of us for the pod, and like that's not saying much, right?
I played the the handheld games mostly, but that makes sense. I don't remember knowing the type system really at all either. Did you play Pokemon Snap on the N64?
I did not play Pokemon Snap.
Okay,
I know that's one of your favorites.
Yeah.
Seems like that would be a fun game.
Voyeur. He loves just snapping pictures of things when they're not expecting it.
Yeah, that sounds like Ryan.
That's me.
It seems like that would be a good game for emulation, like Pokemon Snap. It sounds like it would still like be fun to play even now to an extent. I feel like something like Stadium would be so easy now. Like you would just know, okay,
it'd be like
I
trivial.
just do this to
I always
counter.
wondered why they didn't like try and like do a little bit of Pokemon Snap integration with Pokemon Go. Of like, oh look, I'm walking through the park at my neighborhood, and Pikachu just peeked out behind that tree, and I caught a picture of him. And upload it and like have a socially presence. But it's also Pokemon, and it just fucking sells infinite copies and millions of dollars. So what do they care? I don't know.
That'd be cool though. Yeah.
The world needs healing right now, so we need Pokemon Go too. Pokemon Go to the pole.
That's what we need.
That's pretty good.
God,
dude, bring her back.
Anyways, Gavin, this is about you, not Hillary.
No, the whole point is the tangents, right? Like I said, I don't have a lot of different games, so oh man.
So did you ever so those, what else we got on the 64? Did you Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong Country, Quest 64?
I think the trouble is I played probably some of those games, but I didn't know. Like I know I played a Donkey Kong game. I couldn't tell you which one it was or really like what the plot was. If Donkey
was it 3D?
Kong games even, it was 3D. Yeah.
It was probably that one then.
Yeah.
So
it was weird because it was that time where you're just so innocent and formidable, right? Like I didn't like conceptualize like, I mean, I knew obviously Donkey Kong was different from Mario, was different from Pokemon, but I didn't really like think about like the fact that these were entries in a series. You know what I mean? It was more just like, this one's that cartridge and this one's the other cartridge, and like that's my universe. It wasn't like I was like familiar with I didn't even know for the longest time, for example, that Mario existed before N64 until later when I actually did play an NES.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point though. Like it really was like easier to like pick up a game in a franchise back then than it is now.
Yeah,
like think of some of like the longer running franchises and how like there's like kind of like it's kind of confusing to play like Resident Evil Requiem with no prior knowledge, or any Yakuza game, or like a Dragon.
Definitely not.
You know, if someone doesn't explain it to you, the same thing can be said for like Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and Persona, because they all use a numerical system, but they all exist in their own isolated like world and storylines, right? You don't have to have played Final Fantasy X to play Final Fantasy 16. But back then, like you could just easily do that, and it didn't really take anything away from you. Maybe you didn't have like the bond of having a Super Nintendo and playing Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
You didn't miss anything.
I wonder if that's just more a function of like, well, we're playing kids games, and so they kind of try to make them that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, would you say it's still that way? Like, if you just got a Switch 2 and you hadn't touched Nintendo IP in 20 years, would you be able to kind of just drop in and
be
like, these are the same people? Yeah, whatever.
I would say so. At least for like the flagship stuff, like the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and Country Returns. Those are just the side scroller type Donkey Kong games. That is an isolated mission, and like those characters might have been introduced previously. Some of them they might not have been. They might be new to that. Same thing could be said though for Mario Odyssey or Super Mario Wonder. You know, so yeah, for a lot of those, which is like I guess a thing to kind of tip the hat towards Nintendo.
Yeah,
with they
might be a Nintendo thing almost. Like to have
when I'm sitting
isolated
here thinking about it, I'm like, a lot of
entries,
stuff really
like-
leans into like. Can you imagine playing The Last of Us 2 and not playing The Last of Us 3? Like, or 1? I mean, there's no Last of Us 3. Sorry, there's no hot take here.
Not
I'm
yet.
not revealing anything.
Yeah, we
I
got that
don't work for Naughty
exclusive
Dog.
access, baby. Yeah, but that does kind of like give me some nostalgia for just that era and the way that we approached games versus at least the way I approach games now, which now I'm like, who's the developer? Like, what's the series? Like, I don't know about that mechanic. And those days, it was just like you had the cartridges you had because of whatever. Like, that's what your parents got you, or that's what they had. And there was no going on.
Play your games and you're gonna like it.
You're gonna play them, yeah, because that's all you got. And it was internet existed, but you weren't gonna go on the internet and figure out like how to beat a level or something. You were just going to bang your head up against it till you did, or you were just going to put it down, and you certainly weren't going to go on a Reddit forum and ask people if you can play Donkey Kong whatever after not having to played 1 through 3 and have people tell you to kill yourself because you're missing out on the essential story beats, so I don't know, maybe
I try so hard not to be like that with some things, but with some franchises I'm like, stop, quit doing yourself a disservice and do it the right fucking way.
You
and
people are the reason I almost never touched Final Fantasy.
95% of the time I'm all on board with it. There are just a couple of franchises where I cannot get on board with that, but about me.
Well,
it will be one
old
day.
crotchety gamers in our gatekeeping.
I'm scared when it's your turn. I feel like your Resident Evil is one of those, and I feel like I've talked to you a lot about me jumping around in them. But
It pissed me off in general the way you play
all right, noted. We'll talk about it later.
That's going to be another After Dark episode. How much Ryan pisses Matt off.
We just roast each other's gaming habits. I love it. Okay, so other N64 stuff. I think I did play Ocarina. I don't know if we like owned that or if it was a friend's or whatever, but I definitely remember a Zelda game, and I remember I think my dad was kind of more into it, and I think it was over my head at the time. Like, I did not really understand the gameplay.
Yeah,
like age-wise, that's very fair, especially with like the having to know when to play your toodaloot-doos and whatnot. Right?
Yeah.
How about the controller on the N64? How do you feel about that today? Do you want that to make a return?
No, please, God. Does anybody, though?
Do you guys remember being like confused by that controller even as a kid? Like when you're supposed to just be like, yeah, whimsy and imagination.
I weirdly don't remember being mad about it at all. I remember like being fine with it, but now it pisses me off looking at it. But
I just remember in Mario 64, like you had to use like the bumpers to change the camera angle.
Yeah.
And I was replaying this with my wife.
There's no way. Did you really have to use the bumpers?
Yeah.
You really did, yes.
I think it even had like a little noise that went.
Yes,
it moved
unless
like
you hit a wall or
15
something, and
minutes.
it'd be like, or something like that. It'd be like, nope, you can't do that. Sucks to suck.
And it moved in like 15 degrees.
That's
crazy.
That's all you got.
It's rough, dude.
I thought it kind of followed you. Does it not?
It can.
Like, okay,
but
like,
if you want to manually
turn it, I see.
it doesn't
I see.
always there are also like different modes. I think like something about the D-pad maybe you can kind of change.
Interesting.
There's like a weird like not first person but kind of first person view you can go into too in it, right?
Yeah, just to
Yeah.
like look around.
Kinda
You
like
can't
right
like
over
play
you.
in it, right?
Like, oh look, there's something over there. Hopefully I can make it.
It's so weird to think that like the dual analog the dual analog stick concept was so innovative. Like it wasn't the way that we always did it, but it makes sense. Like you're coming from a computer, people are used to you have a mouse and keyboard, right?
Here's a question actually for you guys, gaming wise. Do you guys invert controls at all?
No.
Never. Disgusting.
No.
Yeah, no, not for me either. But when I hear people talk about it, their argument is like, fine, I get it from like they think about controlling the character, and if there's like a stick in the back of the person's head, and to make them look up, you would push the stick down, and to make them look down, you would push the stick up. And that's how their like brain has wired it to be that way. And a lot of games defaulted to like inverted early on, right? So it's kind of crazy. But glad to see we're also all not fucking degenerates when we play.
I thought we were done with that shit, but I have a friend who just told me in the year of our Lord 2026 he's still inverting, and I was like, "That's crazy, man."
I mean, I know like Ace Combat or something like flying games. It's like that usually. What about Southpaw, where you swap which stick does which?
Don't even. No.
That's
Nobody does that in real life. No, it'll be a common theme. A lot of my early gaming stuff is associated with my dad, but on that point, he still plays inverted because the first games he did play were like flying games, like some like Top Gun games or something like that.
Hell yeah, I wait to the danger zone, baby.
Which even then, like I almost feel like even in a game like that, I would need it to be non-inverted.
Dude, let's get Papa Glenn on the paw.
Get him on here. Yeah, I was asking him some questions to like help me prep for the for this episode, and he reminded me of some stuff we played. So
nice.
We'll get there.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
And I actually do mean that respectfully. Like that is kind of adorable. I can only hope for that to happen one day, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, pops, did we play something?" I'm like, bro, sit down. Let me spin you a tale. So.
Yeah, you'll just roll back the podcast episodes for
yeah,
us.
yeah. Like I got living.
Here you go.
Don't mind this one where I talk shit about you because you made me mad.
Okay, the last entry I have for N64 that I'm like definitely aware of that I know I played was GoldenEye, maybe a little later, and that one was more of like a multiplayer, like screen peeking, like
no screen peeking.
Yeah, like deathmatch kind of thing.
So is this playing with friends, or is it just you and your dad playing 1v1s?
Both. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he would try to go easy on me. But then, yeah, as I got older, like I think I played with friends and stuff, and yeah, GoldenEye was a ton of fun, man. I remember the rocket launcher that you could shoot and like manually pilot it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's so many cool weapons in that game.
Or like, there's all the characters, but then there's Odd Job, right?
Yeah.
And somebody always picks him, and he's like half as tall as everyone else. He's just like
such BS.
Yeah, like everyone's like, you can't be Odd Job.
Yeah, see, you guys say that, but then this is still, once again, this is like far enough into the future where we had like a concept of like strategy and metagaming, and
that's
maybe
fair.
Intuitively you realize it on some level, but I don't know. I mean, that's the thing though. Like I feel like I still play like returned to the N64 for years and years and years, even after later generations. To your point, but the next console that I really remember playing was actually the NES, because I think some of my parents had one in a closet somewhere in a basement or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, well, you like the N64? Like, play this." And so I played like the original Super Mario Brothers. I played Duck Hunt, of course, with the little gun and everything. And what else?
Interesting to go back,
backwards like that.
I mean, pretty much most of my stuff will be here. There's a couple of things maybe I couldn't afford, or a 6-month step back because I had to get one before the other. But I don't know very many where I thought. I haven't sat down and really mapped my game plan out for this type of episode for myself. But
how was that stepping backwards in time like that? Like, where do you remember being annoyed by it, or it was just like another game console, so it didn't really matter? Like,
I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was weird going from 3D to 2D, like 3D being your starting point, but also it was just kind of like, it's just a different thing. It's funny because this will be the experience probably more and more of younger gamers, like people younger than us. Like obviously they're going to start with Fortnite or Minecraft or whatever, and the ones who are really into gaming they're going to go back and they'll eventually play Super Mario Brothers and stuff. So
I want my kid to get to the playground and be like, and the kids bring up, "Hey, did you play Skibbity Toilet 5, man?" And him to be like, "What?" All my dad lets me play is Mario.
You're gonna make your kid into an insufferable son of a bitch who looks down on people who play mobile games.
Exactly, just like his dad.
Can't say I blame you.
Apple doesn't fall far.
But what all? So the Marios, obviously.
Yep. Mario, Duck Hunt, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Anybody?
Hell yeah, dude. Did you beat it?
Fuck no. I don't think so. I don't know how deep I got. I'm trying to remember the lineup.
I'm
who's the final boss?
We couldn't beat that today. Well, Mike Tyson, actually, originally.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I don't know how far. I would play that with friends. I don't know how far we got.
So technically, there's Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and then a couple years later, they had to drop Mike Tyson's name from it. So Mike Tyson's Punch Out's worth more than just Punch Out, and they renamed him at the end. And also Mario.
What did they
Mario's the referee in Punch Out.
Punch Out.
Or Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Tyke Myson's Punch Out.
What did they rename it?
I don't remember.
Man, that's some deep Nintendo lore. You gotta know. Is he like still the same like character model?
It's all the same. Like, yeah, the same stuff you're supposed to use to know when to attack and stuff, like the crowd moving a certain way. And
no, I never played it.
So. You've never played it?
I've actually never touched it. I don't even know.
Oh, it's fun. I'm confident if we said let's do a 12-hour stream, we're not beating that game.
That's crazy.
Unless we like cheated and looked up like
the combos or
patterns.
Is it really that hard?
Oh, dude, it's insane. Absolutely insane. You take all of our From Software, pins out of our hats or whatever, and throw them right in the trash.
Well, now I kind of want to play it.
Now I want From Software's Punch Out remake. It's just Horaloo beating the shit out of you.
Miyazaki's the final boss himself. That'd be great. That's most of what I remember from Super Nintendo. I think like there were maybe some like big collection type games that just had a bunch of different smaller games on the cartridge. Like I remember playing Dig Dug. I remember some tank based game. I don't know what that one was, but this was like all on one cartridge, so it must have been some kind of like greatest hits or whatever.
Yeah, if it was Dig Dug, it's probably some kind of like Namco-y type collection,
or
probably
collection or something.
Galaga on there or something.
I know the tank game you're talking about, but I can't picture it. Galaga was dope.
That's true. I forgot to mention Galaga.
Probably. Yeah. I can't picture the tank game though.
Because Galaga was
that on there?
What is it?
Joust.
Probably.
Ride the fucking ostriches. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, I definitely didn't play a game with ostriches. I would have remembered that.
You would have that locked in.
Yeah, I forgot about Galaga because that's one of those that like my parents had actually played too, like not just my dad.
Oh, nice.
So I feel like that was a, I don't know, a household name maybe in their time. I don't know, but.
Well, it would have been definitely an arcade cabinet too when they were growing up. So
that's true. That's where
they were
people
slinging quarters.
Yeah, such a good game. I think that pretty much does it for the early years for me. Got the N64 and the Super Nintendo, and then after that, it would have to be the Xbox. So. This was, God, when did the original Xbox release? Was it 2000, 2001, something like
2001, I believe. Ryan, you want to fact check on that if you don't mind?
I got you.
But, so no PS1, no Genesis, no Master System, no.
I know that at some point I did play some some Sega games, but I feel like
2001.
It was 2001, okay. Like I know that I played Pong and like there was maybe some other like battleship kind of game. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was definitely like a Sega like original.
Interesting.
But it wasn't emulation. I don't know.
That of Buddies or something.
Yeah. Who knows?
Interesting.
It doesn't matter enough to. Yeah, I mean, right. Not enough to.
Not enough to have left a mark, right? Yeah. So, but yeah. So 2001. Xbox comes out, and that's when it kind of goes from like, at least for me, from like, oh, this like little thing, we have this N64 and we play Mario, to like, oh, like, we're gamers in this house.
Get out, Mom. I do.
I remember we were at like a family friend's house, like, and they had an Xbox and Halo Combat Evolved, and just like my dad's like just standing there playing with like his jaw on the floor, because when he explained it to me later, he was like, games that we had played before then, like AI was not reactive to what you did. Like everything was scripted, right? Like it would just be like, oh, they say this line over and over, just but like the grunts and the enemies and even Combat Evolved, like they will react to how you're playing. Wow. They'll yell, they'll run away from you. There's like banter, like the elites will say stuff. The Marines, the Marines will talk. Like if you get them like on the vehicle, they'll say different stuff.
That's so true.
And he was just like, this was crazy. Like it was either everything was text, or even if there was voice acting, it was always scripted. So it was just like absolutely mind blowing for him to see, this kind of reactive gameplay. It felt more real, I guess. But yeah, we played that like at a friend's house, and then I guess my dad just had to get an Xbox, so I think he got one for like Christmas or something for us, and that began our era of like co-op shooters that would extend basically all the way until I started caring about girls and driving and stuff, and
so you didn't
had to focus on that.
You didn't have the thing Ryan had where he had to keep his Combat Evolved or his Halo like a secret because mom and dad didn't want that in the house. Dad
to bask in the sun with it. You get to live
loudly. Dad was bringing it into the house and saying, "Have it, son. Have it, my boy."
Well, not quite, because the twist is that I have divorced parents. So we'll talk about the divorced parents war and trying to one up each other. But in any event, my mom was a lot more strict, and she was okay with me playing like racing games or just like very like teen. Like she looked at the label, right? Like if it was teen or E or whatever. But when I would go to my dad's, he was the one who personally enjoyed shooters and stuff, and he didn't care if I played. Like he wanted me to play with him. So when I go over there, it's like, hell yeah, I can play Halo and then later Gears and all that. So and I just basically never tell my mom that's what I was doing, because she would freak out. She's just like, killing people in video games will turn you into a serial killer. Like that was her stance.
If only young Ryan could take the same note.
I'm just keeping it on the DL.
He's like, no secrets.
No secret. I can't live
mama.
Yeah.
She would find out now and again. Yeah.
So so the whole premise of our existence, right, is like the whole backlog thing. I want to go back to like specifically the PS1. Do we got stuff setting from the PS1 days that like kind of live in your backlog?
Live in my backlog, or like that I played?
Like live in your backlog of like you kind of missed the boat and you don't know where to start with the franchise, and it's like you're interested. I would still say that's a backlog type of game, right? So like the Final Fantasies, they didn't start there, but they were very popular there. For our generation, the Resident Evils, Metal Gear Solid, Crash, Spyro.
Yeah, I mean, then some of those I did play, but oh god, this is gonna make me sound like a total snob. But to be honest, there's no franchise that I'm curious about that I'm willing to play a PS1 entry of. I would go a generation before that and play the 2D versions. I look at like PS1 graphics and gameplay, and it looks terrible to me, to be honest. But that's my tainted modern gamer perspective. I recognize that. Like there's something about it that it keeps it out of the realm of retro.
Hey man, but we could do the Crash trilogy that they did, that was like 1-for-1, and then they did the Reignited trilogy for the Spyro games, fully remade in today's, and then you could play the GameCube remake of Resident Evil 1, and then you've got the remakes of 2 and 3 and 4. So like there's things to work with. You could just start at Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. That's the earliest in the timeline. You don't have to play on release order. I'm just saying.
Well, I think what we should really do is you should stream these games, and I should watch you fight with those terrible camera controls. And,
as a avid retro gamer, those controls still do piss me the hell off regularly when I get back into a game on them.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of legacy franchises that I'm curious about, but it's almost like the ship has sailed. I thought Final Fantasy was going to be that for me, and then they did the remake. And then even then I was like, or the remake of 7, and then even then I was like, I don't know, but I finally did jump in with that one, so who knows. I know that like the diehard fans of 7 will be like, you absolutely got to go play the original. Was that PS1?
Yeah.
Because it's not even really the same story, right? It's like an alternate timeline basically kind of thing. So but those people get crazy. They'll be like, then you got to go watch this anime, and then you play this DLC. this part was only released in Japan, but you got to get a copy. It's like, oh shit, I don't know, man. I don't know if I have time for all that.
Those people.
I have my opinions, but I don't like, that's not a franchiser's thing that I try to gatekeep with that.
Yeah.
I'm actually frustrated that they've tried to do this alternate timeline thing with the remakes of those.
Really?
Because I was like, this was just an opportunity to finally get people into this.
It's still close enough, right?
But it's still understandable enough and isolated enough that you don't need the other ones. But it is also a kind of like a treat to someone. Like, I'm not playing the exact same thing I played as a kid. So, but anyways,
fair enough. But yeah, no, it means, like I said, there are a lot of franchises that I don't have deep exposure to. So for Xbox,
was like the Xbox, like playing the co-op shooters with your dad, were you like a hindrance, or were you like were you having to exploit?
Trash kid?
Almost certainly.
Yeah,
but
was that like an ongoing theme, I guess, or like did you feel like you like kept up? You know, like
he was a good enough dad that I didn't know I was a hindrance. So
okay, nice.
I think he I mean, and that's one of those things I can imagine now. I have played games with my wife, and she's not a gamer, but it can be really hard to like put a game on easy and like fail over and over, you know, just because like the other person doesn't know how to play games. So I respect the patience that he had with me even more. And Matt, I'm sure you have that to look forward to, because we were probably playing on easy or maybe normal until at a certain point, you know, later in life I surpassed him, but that still like took a long time to get there.
So my wife and I have done a few games, and it's worked out okay. And I think she thought I was going to have less patience than I ended up having with her. And I'll have patience with my kid when we're there, right? But I will say, this past Christmas, I was with one of my childhood best friends and his 3-year-old, I think, and 6-year-old. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to lie, I made them cry playing Smash Bros. Because I would not let them win, and it was hilarious. So funny that my buddy had to leave the room because he was laughing himself into tears. Because I would start to let them win, and then they would start trash talking.
Yeah, and they never know where to stop. You know?
And that's when I was like, "No, you don't get to win and be a dick." The lesson comes from the being the dick part. And there was one part in particular. And I'm sorry, I'm still in the show for a second. Where I literally, like, his son went, you suck, I'm winning. And I, like, looked over my shoulder at my buddy. Like, and then he just said it. He's like, I don't even know what happened on the screen. I just know they died and you won and they were crying. So
you were a petty bitch.
I'm not letting kids learn shit talking at 3 and 6 years.
Too early. Put them in their place.
I wouldn't either. Yeah. But but is the right parenting move to be like, oh yeah, well, you got me, or is it actually shut
or
the
do you
fuck
always
up?
shut them down, and then when they get it, when they beat you, they've earned it? You know, like it's an age-old question.
Yeah. Okay. So Xbox era, we had Halo 1 and then later Halo 2, which was awesome because Halo 2 had dual wielding. Like you could dual wield the SMGs on the cover. Matt's got it right there. He's got the Game Informer mag or something.
That's the Xbox original strat guide.
Oh, that's what it is.
Nice.
Tell you where all the skulls are, whatever the collectibles were in that game.
Yeah, Halo 1 was revolutionary, but then Halo 2 was just like the fun factor turned up to 11. It was so much fun. And both of these just split screen co-op, just out the gate. No promise of it being patched in. It was just the expectation was that I think you could even do like 4 players if you really were crazy enough to do it.
Really?
It'd split it 4 ways.
On the Xbox original?
Imagine?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
That console had 4 controller ports on the front, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but did it have the processing power to run Halo 2?
4 instances.
8 SMGs on screen? Are you crazy?
You could like LAN connect it and play like 8 or 16 against each other, right? You're not on the same screen, but you could 4v4, you know.
Meanwhile, it's like, I don't know. I haven't followed Halo since basically I stopped getting Xbox consoles, but didn't they have for the longest time, I don't know if it's Infinite or what the current iteration is, they couldn't implement co-op because of a UI bug, is what they kept saying. Like they could, or sorry, not co-op, but split screen. local split screen. It was something about how the way that the UI worked. Literally programming it to work in split screen was the technical obstacle, which is hilarious because Microsoft is like this multi-billion-dollar company.
Can't do it, Bob.
Yeah, sorry. We tried. Meanwhile, the original Xbox is just running four instances of that
Those
shit.
Old
No problem.
School devs were built different. Dude.
They weren't vibe coding. Like they had to know how to do that shit.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's bananas. Yeah, Infinite is the newest, but yeah, I do think I remember them scrapping couch co-op because co-op didn't come. Well, the campaign for Infinite didn't come out until like 6 months to a year later, and then co-op campaign didn't come out until again another year later, I think, and then they scrapped the couch co-op split screen piece of that, something like that.
Why?
And then the co-op campaign is, I don't know how many of the Halos do. Where you play as a different character, because like in Halo 2, the second person in the campaign plays as Arbiter, right?
Yeah, 3 does that as well.
Yeah, but Infinite, you're just playing as a clone of Master Chief. It's just two Master Chiefs, the most powerful twins in all of the world.
Which I think is totally fine, by the way. I wish more games would. I wish more games would
Drop
lead into
another
that.
dude in.
Who gives a shit? You know, we're both him.
How the Just Cause games. I don't know if we'll ever spend time talking about them. I'm not a huge fan, but they would be sell so much better if they just did drop in, replicate make the same character a part 2 with blue hair and let them go about destroying the world. Like it would.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're not multiplayer, not co-op like that. Yeah, that's silly.
But.
Okay, so other games I have to mention from this era, Turok Evolution. Did you guys play any Turok heads in the house?
Yeah. I've
shit, Turok. Dude. As a kid, the prospect of like spinning up a minigun to shoot a T-Rex was just like absolute peak.
I mean, that sounds pretty fucking sick right now.
Rocket launchers, dude, you name it. Like it was crazy. That game was a lot of fun.
Like a surprising amount of Turok games for how long we've went since we've had a Turok game.
I don't actually know what this game is. I've heard of it. Like, what's the gameplay? Are you shooting dinosaurs? Are you punching them?
They're like first-person shooters.
Okay.
I think there are some third persons in there where, you literally like are like a tribal person who gets. I think some of them take place like actually in the Stone Age kind of deal, but like technology gets time traveled back to him, so he gets like guns and stuff, and then some of them I think he time travels.
Swipe around. Yeah, there are human enemies as well. I don't remember what the story or the conflict is, but like that's like a bow with an explosive arrow. It's like
I got you.
In the image that I'm showing you.
That came out was
like
early.
That's crazy.
The last one that came out was like an early 360 reboot, and like it was a lot more fighting soldiers, but there were some dinosaurs and kind of in the future. But like, you could like pin people to the wall with the bow and arrow. And there's a new one in development. It's going to be like a 3v3 type game, though. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I wish they'd bring that franchise back because there's something to be said for that. It's not a super deep concept. It's just like, screw it. I just want to shoot some dinosaurs. I want to fly a pterodactyl. Like, I don't care, man.
It's like the watered down version of what Horizon Zero Dawn tries to be.
Yeah.
What Horizon wishes it could be.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, right, Horizon's like a lot more on like the story and the narrative and all the world building pieces. But at the end of the day, like, I just want to kill some fucking dinosaur.
Yeah,
and stuff. Like, it's just cool.
No, I do like Horizon too, but yeah, in terms of fun factor. Okay, so other Xbox entries that I've got to mention that left some impact. Weirdly enough, NCAA football. Played a lot of that, and I feel like it made me realize I'm not a sports game guy. But was really into it for a time. So, did you guys ever play any of?
I actually did.
2K or anything?
I played NCAA football actually, and I really liked it. But like, I'm also not a sports guy, so like I didn't care about the iterations. So I played like an old one for like forever. I had one copy. I don't know what year it was, but did you play Madden games or just the NCAA?
I think I played Madden as well. Yeah, but like you're saying, it's like you can kind of just play one of them, and then you've sort of played them all. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't change. What about like FIFA or like the NHL or anything.
I grew up in
2K,
I grew up in an American household, and we
don't mention soccer.
Yeah, as it happens, I'm actually more of a soccer fan now, but that's happened late in adulthood. So
gotcha.
No.
Yeah, I played a lot of NCAA 2011 specifically. I think did the whole campaign, made my character or myself or whatever, and got recruited and yada yada yada.
Nice.
One of my childhood best friends is was a football player, and he still buys every Madden when they come out, and so we would always just play at his house. But it was just always I would do the Hail Mary every time and try to just win that way, and he knew how to actually play the game. And then there were a couple of the NBA 2K games that I got super big into and played 2 or 3 years in a row. I bought them and played through all their story content, if you will.
Nice.
And then I was just yeah, no, I'm good. I've done that same thing with racing games and fighting games for about 1 or 2 and get really into them. I have a fight stick even.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's commitment.
You got the real thing.
And then I was no, I'm good.
At least those games have room. Fighting games have room for more innovation. A sports game is literally the rules still haven't changed.
The sport is the sport.
Yeah.
The NFL Blitz and MLB Slugfest games with the arcadey type sports games. Now those I did play almost every one of all of those.
Nice. What about backyard baseball, backyard soccer, any of those kids? You play any of those?
Backyard football?
Backyard football, I think, was one of them.
When we get to Game Boy Advance, yes.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So I'll also briefly mention Half-Life 2 because you got to mention Half-Life 2. That game was a lot of fun on original Xbox, but then another one. This was my dad would let me play the M games, but even he had boundaries, so I wasn't allowed to play Grand Theft Auto. But when I would go to my buddy's house, he had an Xbox and he did have Grand Theft Auto. He had San Andreas.
Oh yeah.
So we played that all the time. Just putting in the cheat codes, doing your last stand, how many police can I get to chase after me, and all that, and of course trying to go and find prostitutes and whatever. Just literally every single thing that our parents wanted to keep us away from. It's exactly what we wanted to do.
Of course,
that was a pivotal memory, but it's also one of those things where it's GTA was a lot of fun then because we weren't supposed to be doing it, and now as an adult, it's just I don't really get it. I don't really see the appeal. I don't know.
Because technically, I can go do anything that's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. It all has repercussions. But
yeah. I don't know. I think that kind of rounds out.
Funny.
I think that kind of rounds out the Xbox catalog for me, at least the games that kind of had an impact. I know I'm missing something, but
did you see a little bit of multiplayer stuff? Battlefront 2, Star Wars.
Was that on X? I had that on the next gen. Was that on Xbox?
That's what I was saying. I thought it was 360 as well, but no, it was Xbox. I saw it on the list, and Matt said that.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. A lot of Battlefront 1 and 2.
Yep.
2 was probably the better game, but both of them were incredible.
Yeah.
Played a lot of that. I think that was a game. I think you could also do split screen in that game as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, been able to.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
And then the online multiplayer was a ton of fun. I never did play KOTOR. Everyone tells me you gotta play it at least right. 2.
Yeah, go back and play it. You should.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even now it holds up.
It's been a while since I've played it, so I'm probably nostalgic, rose tinted. I would say though the story was very cool. I don't know, it was pretty neat, but
I'm in the same boat. I gotta find time one day. So we'll see.
Oh, you haven't played it either? Okay. I'm sure we've talked about that. I didn't realize that, though.
All right. Well, maybe we'll just have to stream it then.
There we go.
All right. So I think that's a wrap for Xbox. We're going to jump into PS2, but before that, I had to mention my earliest experience with PC gaming, a very, very short-lived foray, was when my dad got a WoW subscription. And this was 1.0, the original World of Warcraft.
Okay. No expansions, just vanilla.
Yeah, just OG. Vanilla, just right when it dropped. And he got really into it, and then he got me into it. And so eventually, this was at the time where most people just had one computer. And so we were just always fighting over it because we both want to log in. And So he canceled it like a couple months later because he's like, this is bad for us. So so that was pretty much my first
buy
and
a
last
second computer and get
We did not.
He had two paths in front of him.
I think he chose the right one because it kind of deterred me from ever really getting into MMOs after that, because it was a lot of fun. I remember, like, I mean, I was young, so probably a lot of games were really fun at that point, but seeing, like, I could kind of see how you might get really, really into it, you know? And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because there's so many other games to play. Something like that would have probably taken a lot of time. So
Yeah.
That's
They're
so-
huge time sinks.
I know. If you ever find a chance to go to this local game store that I like around here, they now on display. They just had someone trade in one of the original server blades, so a section of the server from vanilla Warcraft 1.0. It's like signed by a lot of the dev team. It's just like a little historical item.
Heck yeah,
if
man.
I'm over
That's
there and I
crazy.
see it, I'll take a picture of it just to send it to you, for you to send it to your dad, just literally for the.
please
Like,
do.
Hey, yo, remember when you about beat me to death because I wanted to play one?
Oh man, yeah. So maybe you and your son will experience that, but then again, you've probably got enough TVs and stuff laying around that you'll never have to fight over
Very
access.
is a little bit more reasonable now, especially if I want to try to get him to do retro gaming. Right, buying another PC and a WoW subscription back then.
Yeah, that'd take you out.
You'll probably just like any excuse to build a computer. You'll be like, I guess you do need a little like retro gaming rig. Okay, yeah. Oh, and a handheld form factor. I got you. Okay, so next is PS2, and this is kind of like, I call this like the divorced parent wars, because it was like dad got an Xbox, so then mom had to go and get me a PS2. This is the one great part about being a parent of divorced kids. At least like middle class divorced kids, I recognize that.
Yeah.
You know, it's obviously a privileged circumstance that I had parents who were buying consoles.
No,
for
I
me.
had
I wasn't gonna interject.
No, I had a similar energy. I remember telling kids at the lunch table, like, God, it's great having divorced parents. And there was other kids that were like, no, it's fucking not.
Yeah. This was one of the very few positives from my personal experience. Let's just leave it at that, because there were many drawbacks. But one of the positives was that they did tend to want to outdo each other. So dad got the Xbox, and so then inevitably mom got the PS2. And since mom didn't let me play M games or anything like that, the catalog of games I played on PS2 were very, very different. So the first stuff I played was like originally like PS1 games, because it had backwards compatibility. I remember playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. Anybody? It's like a tile-based Yu-Gi-Oh! game.
different
Actually
Yu-Gi-Oh!
does sound
game,
familiar.
but-
I collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards pretty hardcore and watched the show for a little bit, but
That's badass. PS2
I
game, you
think
said?
It was
y'all got into
PS1,
it
but
a
I was
bit
playing
more.
on
I see,
PS2.
I see.
Yeah.
because y'all had like getting dual discs and shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean dual discs?
Like the where you put
Oh
your
yeah,
cards
yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
On the,
Yeah,
on
I
the
didn't have
arm,
that.
you don't have that thing.
But I
on
was
me.
like also like super poor and overweight. I didn't need another thing.
didn't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was super into Yu-Gi-Oh, so you know, I had to play the video game. I don't think it was honestly. I don't think it was that good.
I think I remember seeing one, like the trailers or something. It's like when you played the card, did it show like the big ass monster
Yep,
coming
yep,
out of it
yep.
on this? Yeah, that's cool. Man.
That was the one, but it was still like kind of opaque, and you know, it was probably like a Japanese developer. There's like a lot that felt sort of like lost in translation, or maybe it was just because I was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the big franchise that I remember being like the first thing of like, hey, I'm really into this non-shooter franchise was Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation 2.
Nice.
Loved those games, played them to death. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't touched the franchise since literally the PS2. I don't know if they're still.
I literally can't say the word "whoa" without like in my head at the very least, but most of the time I do it like out loud, where I go like "whoa." Like,
Yes. That's crazy, because that immediately takes me back to there, and I haven't heard that noise in 25 years. So
You're welcome.
20 years.
This is me kicking off my voice acting career.
I'm trying to remember. It's like mostly like platforming gameplay, right? And
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember like how the combat works. So you're not.
You just spin.
You're just spinning around. That's what it is. Yeah.
He's
Is
just
it
a crazy
I
guy.
I'm not. Just a crazy fella.
marsupial.
I don't really think I've played much of these. Is this like an isometric, like Spyro type of game or something? Or like...
No, it's
like
very
third person,
level-based.
right? Yeah.
And third person, camera just kind of follows you. You move forward through the level. It may have some levels where there's some stuff that side scroll, but and there's just like some enemies. Most of the time, it's just about like a big part of those games is to beat the level, and then you unlock being able to do the speed run through the level. So you don't even really got to fight the enemies half the time until the boss fights.
Gotcha.
Technically.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know if I realized that as a kid. I definitely wasn't speedrunning anything at that point. I was just like breaking all the boxes, like having a good time with it.
Oh man, Wumpa fruit, is that what they're called?
It's like the little mango looking things all over.
Every time you pick them up, there's like that weird slurpy noise. Like,
wait, can you do that again? We're gonna clip that.
Clip that.
Oh shit. And then I guess in a related note, while we're talking about animal protagonists, it's got to be Ratchet and Clank. Those were the games that I got really into on PS2. I don't remember which was first. It was Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal. Those were the two games that I owned. Yeah.
I think Going Commando and then Up Your Arsenal, but there's also just Ratchet and Clank, which is the first one.
I don't know if I played just the first one.
Which is literally like the meeting and whatnot. But one other thing about Crash Bandicoot, I won't hang us up too much. Do you remember Tana? His girlfriend.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Are you still sweet on her all these years later?
I'm not saying I'm still sweet on her. There's just things in history that make me understand why, and I am not one, disclaimer, furries became to be and why they're so popular with our generation in particular. And Tana is definitely one of them.
Why would you do that with one of my beloved childhood franchises and memories, Matt?
Sorry, dude.
You're a sick man.
Up next, I'll be ruining Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, well I already know about all that. So
that one's already tainted. It's fine.
So Ratchet and Clank. We talked about this before, but I remember like literally going to like the school book fair, and they would have these books full of cheats, and he'd be like, "Oh shit, there's one for Ratchet and Clank." It's like, okay, if you put these, you can get this like wrench that's like a laser beam, and just like doing all those, like trying to memorize the cheats and put them in when you get home. Those were really fun, just single player games.
They're like just very good.
I haven't really played a lot of them either, or I haven't played any. Like, is it
through the level, multiple like different guns that are all just like wacky third person shooting kind of, but it also has the melee piece to it.
Yep, with the wrench.
Yeah.
Well, and also I guess
platforming. It's like
there's platforming, but it also introduced me to, and I didn't know it at the time because you don't conceptualize this, but they're the first kind of Metroidvania concept where you actually do get like progression can be gated, or it was just optional areas, I don't know, by like specific abilities, or like you get like magnetic boots that allow you to like walk up on something and like go upside down and different things like that. I guess like even Mario 64 had stuff like that too with like the caps, so maybe that wasn't my first exposure, but yeah, good games.
It was a Ratchet and Clank. It was like a bigger deal. It was like a new ability or item. It wasn't just like you got an item and now the area's unlocked, like a key to a door, right? It was like the mag boots, right? And, you know, stuff like that. So or like unlocking like I think there's like a high jump or something you unlock with Clank or something.
But it's good, Ryan. You should try out the one that what's the one that they released for PlayStation 5? I've literally been playing it. I just haven't finished it.
So I've done it. They did Rift Apart.
Yeah, Rift Apart. It feels good. The newest? It feels really good on the DualSense. Like all the haptics and everything are hitting.
Nice.
Yeah. There is also 2016. They just did straight up essentially like a remake of the very first Ratchet and Clank game. It's just called Ratchet and Clank. They like did it. It coincided with them releasing that movie that they did, because they did a movie, Ratchet and Clank movie, as well, and it's really good too. So you could go either way. Shout out to the fact that they got Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, Rift Apart.
I was wondering. I was actually sitting here wondering what the meme was. Rift Apart. Rift Apart.
It's all the potty humor. No, that is reminding me. I did play the first game on PS2 because I remember going back and playing the remake a few years ago. Actually, the 2016 one. Yeah, And then related to that, other games that were squarely in the teen rating, Mom approved, was Sly Cooper.
Hey,
you play those?
That Thievius Raccoon is
Yep.
Bentley and Murray and the boys.
Those games were a lot of fun too. I'm trying to remember exactly what the gameplay was. I like there was some puzzle solving. I feel like as well.
It's kind of like stealthing around too,
yeah.
right? Like you were like platforming, but like sneakily. Like I didn't play a lot.
I think in the first game you only play as Sly, right? And then like the next game they started letting you play as like Bentley, who had like gadgets, and then you could play as Murray, who could like pick people up and throw them, and like he was like the hippo, right?
Okay.
And stuff. But yeah, it was just kind of sneaking around. Like you could swing the cane and do some combat, but it was always better to just
sneak through.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a favorite one of these? Like one, there's like 4 of those, isn't there, or something?
I don't really remember which ones I had at the time.
Gotcha.
It's not one of those franchises that I've been like, oh man, I have to go back. Yeah.
I feel like I heard a lot about like 2 Honor Among Thieves or something. I don't know. I haven't played these
I don't know
much.
if that's that name or if that's Uncharted.
Yeah, I mixed the tagline up
or something. Yeah,
a Thieves.
That's also
There's
Uncharted.
Thievius Raccoonus. That's like the 4th one, though.
The
right?
second one is something about honor.
It is. It is something among thieves, I think.
Anyways,
Now that I'm spelling all these games out, I'm kind of realizing these were laying the groundwork for me to just get into like single player kind of campaign based experience type games with like melee and some shooting. I don't know. I did play some co-op games as well, though. Like I remember Lego Star Wars being a lot of fun with the boys. Nice. Like, and you could like pick the characters, right? And the further you went, you would unlock new guys and stuff, and you'd get pieces, and then you'd build the new characters and build the ships. So that was like a really interesting concept, I feel like, because you could keep playing the game, but still like play it in new ways because you unlock new characters.
I mean, we gotta put respect on the Lego games right quick. The Lego games are real good games, like quality games tied to like, they don't usually have a lot of glitches or mess ups. They're tied really good to like whatever property, like IP that specific one's linked to, like across the board. Like I'm right here, like really biting, like trying not to buy the new Lego Batman.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's really good.
It looks phenomenal,
yeah.
and the only reason I'm like trying to fight it off is because that 007 game comes out in like 2 more weeks. I'm not gonna have like that Lego Batman game is pretty big. I'm not gonna have time to.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I've really only played like the Lego Star Wars games. I feel like. Did you play, Gavin? Did you play a bunch of the others?
I didn't play any of the others. I didn't play Harry Potter or any of those. Yeah.
There's the Lego Marvel Superheroes, the very first one that came out like right when the PS4 launched. Oh, it's so good. And then there's the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga that's like essentially every movie.
Yeah.
Like all the way back, prequels all the way forward, and it's got they're just so fun. They're just
Dude, they are
simple.
fun, especially in co-op. Because didn't they? I feel like I'm remembering like the co-op story or whatever was distinct, because there were times where you needed 2 players. It'd be like one person uses the force or whatever to like put this platform in place, and the other person goes and jumps on it, gets an item, and then comes back down.
Yeah.
So I never really played them single player, but now that I say that, maybe there was like an AI or something if you were just playing by yourself that would automatically do all that.
That's what I'm remembering.
I don't know.
Yeah, or like you could swap the brain between which character you were using, and the AI would use the other one.
Yeah,
a little
you
bit,
essentially had the 2 together, and then you just like hit a button and switch to the other character.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really engaging.
Yeah,
it's a fun concept.
I do remember those unlocks you're talking about, like getting the new characters and building them. And there was like little in that first Lego Star Wars, or whichever one that was, the PS2 one. It was like, I just remember being gated by how many studs you had or something, or minifigs, and I was like, gosh, I gotta get more studs.
Exactly.
It was so exciting.
You're like, man, I want to unlock General Grievous so bad. And like,
oh gosh,
because you could play through normally, and it would be like, okay, in this level you're Anakin or whatever, right? But you could unlock anybody, and I don't know if you could do any like sub anyone in 1-for-1, but I felt like you kind of could.
I feel like you could.
Yeah. That was cool, man. I guess we need to play this. Add it to the games we should play as a pod.
There it is.
All right, so wrapping up PS2. I gotta mention Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
I'm not a racing guy, but at that point I
Everyone was
loving it. Dude, those games were so much fun. Just getting like a Honda shitbox like car and just decking it out, like putting neon and spinners and all that on it and just making it yours. Like that was so much fun. I guess those games must have had an online component, but for me that was like pre-online. Everything I was playing was offline, so I don't know, maybe there was like split screen as well. I can't remember.
There was something.
I think there definitely was split screen for them.
Those games were sick.
I remember them having really good soundtracks too.
Yes, they did.
Did you play Most Wanted or Carbon or any of the ones?
I think I just played Underground 1 and 2. Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean,
were those also PS2 era, or were those later?
I think so, but I don't remember where they were.
Carbon definitely was.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the first time I heard, like, to the window, to the wall. But, man, dude, I don't know why. That seems like one of those, like, franchises in, like, a remake situation that just, like, is just a boatload of cash just sitting there. I don't know if the mess is actually tied to the licensing of not only the real cars but the music nowadays versus what it was then, maybe. But
that's an issue that Forza has too, right? They actually put the real cars in the game, and so they have to pay for a license, and so you might not be able to buy it in 10 years on a digital storefront. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, man, that would be crazy.
I do wonder if Forza's just sucked up all the market share or something, like Forza Horizons is like more
than they need to,
right? Like
suck up the Lil Jon or whoever that was album, put that in there. Do they drop the next Forza commercial and it just goes like the car fires up and it just goes to the window, like, right first day one purchase, maybe
pre-order,
and I can put neon lights under the car. Sign me up.
Yeah, we can only hope. Okay, my final entry for PS2 is a special one because it actually is one of the few games that had an impact on me outside on my actual life, which is Guitar Hero. So I remember Guitar Hero was like the thing when it came out, and I got it on PS2, and you had the actual, I think it was like a Gibson Explorer or something that it was modeled after, but just started playing that with friends and then realized all this music is really good and this is fun. So eventually I convinced my parents to let me just get like a cheap guitar and started learning, and still play now. So it sounds like a very millennial thing, but I have to credit Guitar Hero for
cool.
Like creating that spark in me. I mean, I was always kind of a music lover as a kid, and my parents instilled some of that in me as well. But yeah, it was those games that really made me go, this is cool. I got to do this. So
that's awesome. Nice. You're the example case we were all trying to sell our parents on, and then it was like, oh, it's actually good for us. We're gonna pick up the hobby,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the same time, I'm playing Final Fantasy X and sobbing while some very Japanese love song plays and two characters are kissing in the rain. But yeah, sure.
I'm just rocking out over here, man. I'm having the time of my life.
I want to say he's over there rocking out the heart-shaped box, but that was on Guitar Hero 2.
I think it was.
Which Guitar Hero is your favorite?
Oh man, is Rock Band count?
I'd throw it in.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're not at 360 yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's hard to say, but Rock Band holds a special place in my heart for other reasons. Yeah, that's rounds it up for PS2. Once again, I know I'm missing stuff, but those were kind of all the teen and below games that I was allowed to play on the PS2. I did have a Game Boy Advance at one point, briefly, but I didn't really get a lot of games for it. I remember playing Backyard Football, and for some reason I remember there being like some kind of, not like a LAN-based system, but I guess kind of a LAN-based system where you could like literally hook your Game Boy into someone else's and you could play.
Nice.
So my buddies and I would do that all the time, like after school.
That's
on
like
that game.
Like the link cable or something like that.
Yeah. Man, that was fun.
I did that.
Why
with,
don't we?
Yeah, with like Pokemon. I didn't know you could do it with other games. I thought it was
Oh,
just
with
like
Pokemon you could do
you
that?
like trade, you know. But
yeah.
I didn't know you could live play like a game versus
Yeah,
somebody
you
like
could.
That. That's cool.
Yeah. On that little, and I feel like, what was up that screen? Like it wasn't backlit. I feel like.
Yeah,
Is
it
that
was
right?
No,
Yeah.
if you're talking about like the
No.
kind of
Yeah,
ovalish
like,
one, yeah,
exactly.
It wasn't until the
Killer.
SP, man.
The
That's
SP,
the worst
yeah.
thing about
That's the thing. I
Advance.
never had an SP. I never had any of the others. Like I always thought those looked really cool.
I actually think the Advance is one of my favorite looking handhelds, but the fact that it's not backlit. I've thought about ordering one of the ones where people have like put an IPS backlit screen into them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Or you could get an RG 35XS.
Oh, here we go. Set him off.
Oh man, yeah, the handheld episode is imminent. I don't remember really. I mean, it seems like most people got those for Pokemon. I'm sure I played a Pokemon game on it, but it didn't. Once again, didn't leave a mark. So that's it for the Advance. But then around the same time, was PSP then, or was PSP a little bit later?
A little bit later.
A little bit later. Well, while I'm on handhelds, I'll go ahead and mention it because it was also a short-lived thing. I do remember like actually watching movies on it. Shout out to the Garfield movie on PSP that Matt just procured for Ryan. Just
Joke that
because.
never dies.
Garfield lives forever.
How many of those PSP movie discs you got? Are those part of your library or
That's my entire PSP collection right there. Not a single UMD. I don't own a single
UMD?
film
That's what it was.
on PSP. I own a lot of Final Fantasy games, but yeah.
That's wild. You don't have any, but
Yeah.
As far as games go, though, I distinctly remember playing Monster Hunter because this was like still the era of, at least for me, it was like you just kind of went to the game store and it was like you looked at the cover and you're like, this game looks cool.
Yeah.
Like there's a dragon on that. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And like that game was entirely too hard for me at that age. Like
Still too hard for me. In my
people
30s.
bounce off the modern versions of those games, so at that age I had no idea what was going on, but I did actually stick with it for a few weeks, but I definitely never got anywhere close to finishing it.
Well, this came full circle though. You got into Monster Hunter later, right?
We'll did
kind of get into that later on, but
I did, but I also like didn't totally put together the fact that the game I played on PSP was actually the same franchise because I didn't really remember what it was called. I did. I'm like really, I don't know if I'm really into Monster Hunter, but I mean, I'm like sufficiently into it. At least the new gen stuff, which people talk about, it's like totally different, like World and Onward and now Wilds and Rise versus like the stuff before then. It's like, it's almost like a completely different franchise in a way, but yeah. So I guess it is full circle in that sense.
yeah. Huh.
nice.
I look forward to getting into that.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be this time.
Yeah, so I think that's a wrap for us. Next time we'll start with the 360, where we've got a lot of heaters, a lot of favorites.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
to this day, that's the system that I've put more hours on than anything in the world. So that'll be fun. And then eventually we'll get to PS4 and above, and From Software and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for part 2.
Sweet. Well, don't forget to follow us on any of the social media platforms at My Buddy's Backlog. And if you want to write in for, more brackets or lists or any fun notes you want to send us, shoot us an email at my.buddies.backlog@gmail.com, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. See ya.